Hello and welcome back to another tea video, everyone. Tayland here, bringing you another Yunnan sourcing tea. This was 2024 Yunnan sourcing Green Mark Dragon Ripe Raw Pu-erh Tea Cake. This is an interesting one as it is a blend of a ripe pu-erh and a raw pu-erh all in one. So I already broke off a little piece, but looking at the leaves, it mostly looks like a normal ripe. Or if anything, a really aged raw. So quite dark, and let me get a dry smell on that real quick. So on the dry smell, I'm gonna say it mostly smells like a ripe pour. I think the aged scent definitely overtakes the raw. But there is a bit of a freshness in there as well, and it doesn't smell like a wet piled scent or anything crazy like that. So that is something awesome as well. So a little bit of a astringent note in there, a little bit of a vegetal fresh scent, but overall I'm getting those dark caramely, cocoa-y, soil, forest floor kind of vibes to this tea. So real interested to try. But first I'm going to get into the website, the pricing, and the description. So if you want to skip ahead, feel free. Then I will start with that wash at 212 Fahrenheit for, I don't know, 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how compact this is. Then we'll get into the first steep at also 212 Fahrenheit, which is 100 C. So, getting into the website, here's what it looks like. 2024 Yunnan sourcing, a Green Mark Dragon, a ripe raw pu-erh. So, for the sample size that you see I have here, that is going for 25 grams, $6.50. And then a full 357 gram cake. So this is a full traditional cake, not like a lot of the newer smaller 200 gram cakes. This one is $49.50. So very solid price in my opinion. So hopefully it's good. With this lovely cake, we celebrate an age-old tradition of mixing raw and ripe pu-erh tea together to create a harmonious blend worthy of aging. Like the famous Purple Heaven bricks and cakes from the 80s and 90s, we have blended this ripe and raw pu-erh tea together. The raw and ripe pu-erh both came from the same tea garden in Nahan Village, Bangdong County in Linkang, with both ripe and raw being harvested in the spring of 2023. The addition of raw pu-erh tea to this predominantly ripe pu-erh tea cake, so that answers my question to why it's mostly smells and looks like ripe pu-erh it is mostly ripe pu-erh, results in a lovely experience. It's not so different from ripe pu-erh tea, but there's an additional layer of texture that enhances the overall taste complexity of the tea, but never detracting from it. I tirelessly blended these teas together and experimented with ratios to find the best possible outcomes. I hope you'll enjoy this lovely tea. Recommended for longer term aging. 357 gram cake, 7 cakes per bamboo tong. And like everything from Yunnan sourcing, they tested it for 404 pesticide residues. So it's within EU MRL limits, if that matters to you, which it definitely matters to me. But here's what that wash liquid looks like, and the leaves not quite open, but ooh, that smells real nice, and there's a bit of a camphor menthol vibe to it. A lot more sweetness in it too than I expected. And there's like I don't know, some kind of dark fruit, maybe like fig or like a date. It's like a sweetness with like a dark fruitiness and like a menthol camphor vibe. Wow, real unique for sure. And it's like very obvious, like a fruitiness. It's not like I'm trying to pick out that scent. Like that's the overarching scent. And then that menthol is kind of like cooling my nostrils as I inhale it. It's very interesting. But I'm going to go straight in with that first steep at 212 Fahrenheit, so boiling, 100 C. And I think I'll let that go for 10 to 15 seconds. I'm thinking 10 just because this looks like it's already taken on some color. And it doesn't seem to be super compressed, which I always appreciate personally. All right. Hopefully this one's good. It sounds real interesting. Let's get another smell off that. Alright, some of that fruitiness is dissipated after that first steep, but still get a bit of a mentholy camphory vibe. Still has a tad bit of fruitiness, but I'd say it's more leaning towards a typical show. It has like some cocoa-y, deep, sweet, caramely vibes to it, and then overall it's like forest floor, soil. But there is definitely some other stuff in there still, and it's real interesting. So there's the liquid for you. Not quite super dark, and maybe it'll darken with a second steep, but definitely on the darker side, so definitely leaning towards looking like a show or a really aged Shang. Alright, let me taste this first steep. It's real nice. It has a real nice round, smooth feeling mouthfeel. Goes down easy, and it kind of coats the mouth, and it's a little syrupy. It's kind of thick. There is a overarching show taste, but it's like really light so far. I think I'm gonna need to do another steep to get a full feel for it, but I like what I'm getting so far. There's no wet pile taste, a slight bit of mouth drying, no bitterness or astringency. It kind of reminds me of a very smooth coffee, like a coffee with absolute, like almost like a cold brew coffee, but it's warm, because cold brew coffee has like a sweeter flavor and less bitterness and astringency to it than you would typically brew a coffee. But yeah, let me do a second steep at boiling for another 10 to 15 seconds, and I'll be right back. All right, I probably let this one go a little too long, but let's just chalk it up to me testing how bitter it can get. So that was probably 20 to 30 seconds. And let's smell the leaves again. Let's get a good look at them. All right, so you can definitely see the Shang portion in there now, as before it all looks kind of uniform. That's pretty interesting. Fruitiness is gone. Smells roasty, a little cocoa-y, little deep, rich soil. Yeah, smells like a show. Nothing wrong with that. All right, yep, definitely gotten quite a bit darker now. Nice deep dark show color, can't see through it. Bit of a reddish tint to it, I'm sure, if I put it into a glass. Looks good. Alright, I'm about to taste the second steep. This is a really nice tea. A nice thick body. It has like a certain lingering fruitiness to it. In the background of it, it's like a deep, earthy, fruity sweetness intermingling with the overarching, aged show taste, so the soil and the like damp earth flavor that they acquire through making the show. And there's almost like a roastiness to it that's real interesting, that I'm thinking came with the combo. It's not quite as deep and dark as a lot of typical shows, if that's something you're expecting or you like. But if you're someone who's not really too into show, this might be a good one for you to start out with, to kind of break into that. I think if I was to compare it, like, it's definitely like in the middle, right? So the lightest, freshest show I've had was like Sunny Shoe recently from Intergalactic Tea. That one is very light, very fresh, very different for a show. This one's kind of in the middle. There's still a lot of stuff that makes it a show, though. It still has like the foresty, it still has the kind of fudgy, chocolatey, cocoa-like characters. It definitely has a thicker mouth feel, but this one has some freshness to it as well. You definitely know there's something a little extra in there that isn't just show. Yeah, I like it a lot. This is definitely something I'm considering buying a cake of, I think, especially for the price. The price is very reasonable. I think most Yunnan sourcing teas are pretty reasonable for what they are, and they're tested, so that's nice too. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say on this one. I would definitely recommend picking up a sample at least to give it a taste. It's interesting, unique. I haven't had. I don't think I might have had one before, a blend of a show and a Shang pour, but I don't think I've had too much if I've had any. But yeah, leave a like, subscribe, comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you.